Good evening. Thank you for joining us. My name is Diane Wesley Smith. Welcome to San Francisco Weekly News. San Francisco's new mayor, London Breed, was inaugurated on Tuesday, July the 11th, 2018, at San Francisco City Hall. Congratulations to our new mayor, Mayor London Breed of San Francisco. At this moment, this native San Franciscan is full of anticipation. Mayoral inaugurations can be long on uplift and short on details. It's a time to savor an oath of office and to look ahead without calling out political foes or wheeling out PowerPoint charts. San Francisco's new mayor, London Breed, understood these basics and made the most of her primetime moment. In a glittering blue outfit, she stood on the sunny steps of City Hall and mapped out the themes for her razor-thin win. If it was familiar stuff, her audience of several thousand people didn't much care. Her rise from childhood spent in public housing to become the city's first African-American mayor was highlight enough for the moment. She's pledging to push along her signature causes and also take aim at larger issues that are troubling our city. She drew cheers from plugging plans for drug injection centers where addicts can shoot up inside and under supervision, and a conservatorship program. Some people are against the conservatorship program, but the conservatorship program is a necessary program, and I'll explain to you a little bit later exactly how it works, the basics of how it works. That would care for the mentally ill who are unable to care for themselves. You know, that's conservatorship, let me just say, that would be a direct solution to homelessness. That would impact homelessness greatly. And my baby brother, Ronald Dean Wesley, would probably be alive today. There's no doubt in my mind. He would probably be alive today if there was a conservatorship program, because he suffered from drug addiction and mental illness, and his rent wasn't always paid. With conservatorship, there's care for people who have mental illness, and drug addiction is part of a mental illness. But he'd probably be alive today, and we'll talk a little bit more about exactly about conservatorship. On broader themes, Mayor London Breed struck all the right notes. Though the financial details and the telling ingredients are still missing, she's promising a sharp focus on homelessness and housing, the twin issues most concerning to us native San Franciscans, residents, voters, and visitors. Specifics can wait for another day. Her blueprints eventually will need follow-through. She's arriving with historic trappings and with the fervent support of a crowd that cheered her, but the fanfare won't last long. Still, there are indications of the kinds of tough calls that Mayor Breed is willing to make. She favors a larger police force, which, confronting the Trump administration, she believes, and confronting the Trump administration on immigration is important to her, as well as all native San Franciscans especially, and others, and also to nearly every other San Francisco city lawmaker. On housing, she's leaning against the neighborhood objections that can slow down construction, a crucial stand in a city that treasures local character, but worries about the recent rating that our city is the most expensive city in the world. The most expensive rental city in the world. If she can find a faster way to build affordable housing, that would be absolutely awesome, but she's going to need all of our support. Those of us that had something, any of us that can support in any way, there's a way actually that everyone can support. She's going to need all of our support in order to find a faster way to build affordable housing for housing for income on all levels. Okay, it would be landmarked, but affordable housing must be available for income levels anywhere from the low income to 25,000 on up to 100,000, and because we're in San Francisco, even past 100,000. The election calendar adds pressure. Mayor Breed is serving out the final stretch of the late Mayor Ed Lee's term, meaning she'll be on the ballot next year. she'll need to pile up a strong record during her short political honeymoon. Her speech underscores what she can do best. Use her inspiring background to remind the city that she hears all sides. In our city, where we're worried about the increasing income gulf or gap, increased racial tensions, intense political business, politics, and rapid change. That's a strong message from San Francisco's new mayor. Also, the fact that as a native San Franciscan, also the fact that I've observed, we're both native San Franciscans, that blacks have been systematically excluded from career opportunities and advancement in San Francisco city government. In her inauguration speech, London Breed promised to build more housing in the city. That is woefully, we have an inadequate supply. That's the bottom line. She plans to address climate change, reform education, and improve public transportation. She promised to pay forward with opportunities for every child to get paid internships. That's what we had when we were growing up in San Francisco. I'm older than Mayor Breed, but she knows. We had paid internships. We grew up in Hunters Point. All you had to do was go to the Economic Office of Opportunity, Model Cities, or one of the government programs that were initiated by leaders of our city that fought for it so that we young people had an opportunity. So we worked for companies. There were partnerships set up, and we worked for companies. We worked 4 hours, kept our grades up, and then we were in school for 4 hours. Actually, school 4 hours, then we left early and we worked. And that was a paid internship. We used to call it a 4-4 plan. 4 hours of school, 4 hours of working. So it might be different for younger high school students, for younger students, but by the time one becomes a senior, one would clearly qualify with good grades to work, to go to school for 4 hours and to work for 4 hours. We have so many wonderful tech companies, and they want to know what can they do to help, and they need a vehicle because they don't know who to go to. Well, they do now. Actually, they have known, and Mayor Breed's plan to create opportunities for young people so that they can be a part of the city's promising future is quite outstanding, and I know that that will be achieved. Breed is a Democrat. I was a Democrat. Many of us were Democrats. We don't know what Democrat means, but Mayor Breed is showing us what will show us what a Democrat is in so many positive ways, and we're going to also have to agree to disagree, folks, because we don't have a lot of time. So, let's talk about the conservatorship program. The conservatorship program, what that means is, it means that if you have a person that has mental health issues, if you have a person that has the kind of mental health that has caused them to continually hurt themselves through drug addiction, there's a conservatorship program whereby the aid that is afforded this individual is placed into a conservatorship, or it's put up for them, so to speak. It is placed under the care of a conservator who will make sure that the needs of this individual who is unable to care for themselves, to make sure that their bills are paid, make sure that their rent is paid. So they will always have housing because their rent will be paid. They will always have food because their food will be purchased for them. Now, we're not going to worry about what if. What I can say is, as a native San Franciscan who grew up with 4 brothers and a younger sister, I'm the eldest, and when I saw what happened to my youngest brother, we provided a conservatorship for him as long as possible. It is difficult for family to provide a conservatorship in many cases. However, we have a lot of great agencies that provide conservatorships, and we were able to take advantage of that. However, in the conservatorship, what I would like to see happen in any one who has family that's suffering from mental illness, that's suffering from homelessness because they are unable to take care of themselves, you can appreciate that it's kind of irrational. We've got to make sense of how much control should a person who is unable to take care of their own affairs have. That's why so many are homeless. We know firsthand, if you, these people, not these people, the homeless, the people that aren't able to take care of themselves, when they get their money, if you can't take care of yourself, how are you going to do the right thing for yourself? And then one should not have the ability to say, well, I changed my mind, I don't want a conservator anymore, because it should not be their decision. Are we our brother's keepers? Yes, we are. Conservatorship falls under we are our brother's keepers. That will significantly address homelessness. So the other part of that, and this is why Mayor Breed, it's a twin program. It is the homelessness and its housing inventory. They are interrelated. So when you have the conservatorship, you still have the lack of the housing inventory because you want the homeless to be housed. You also want to provide housing for others, for everyone that is in need. So you have to have the infrastructure, conservatorship infrastructure, that will allow us meaning society, to take care of those that cannot take care of themselves, and in a way that will also provide the housing. So what I'm alluding to, where I'm going with this is, when we have the conservatorship, where are they going to live? That is why housing is number two. They really are intertwined. You could say homelessness first, housing first. Either way, they're intertwined. And of course, and part of that is employment opportunities. So it all goes together. And Mayor Breed is all too aware of this. I'm waiting to get a copy of her inauguration address. It was absolutely, I'm speechless. I wasn't able to attend because I had other obligations, but it had to have been very significant for me to not have attended. But one of the things that I captured, one of the clips of what Mayor Breed shared with us, is she said, we can't let politics get in the way of our ability to deliver to the people of San Francisco. And what I would add is that we can't let business politics, we cannot let big business get in the way of delivering the services that are delivering services to the residents of San Francisco. We can't let, we need big business. There's some big businesses, there are big businesses that have a sense of social conscience. Those big businesses, we want you at the table. We want the tech companies at the table. We need to show them how they can help us and how we can help them. We need a partnership. But we cannot build houses only for the techies. And I said, I'm happy that we are like the tech capital. I'm so happy about that. What I'm unhappy about is the housing crisis that we're under. We have the money, we have the technology, and I commend Mayor Breed on her courage to make the tough decisions. But we cannot have big businesses that do not have a sense of social justice determining the future of our city. So in the next year and a half, we'll have the opportunity to see, because when deeds speak, words are nothing. Okay, so we talked about the conservatorship program. I want to share with you the certificate information about the certificate of preference. The certificate of preference was designed to protect. It's a special document, and it gives highest priority of applicants to city properties, city-sponsored housing properties. The problem that we have, before we go to the certificate of preference, let me first touch on the lottery. See, we had the certificate of preference, that was fine. What that said was, when the city built something, that someone who had been displaced would have the opportunity with this special document to return or to move elsewhere. Well, that document fell short. Our city leaders fell short. They did not practice due diligence There was no due diligence practice, and particularly on the part of our elected officials, because had there been, when in 2004, when I asked as a community broker, where is the list of the people that are eligible for the certificate of preference, no one could find it. I started out at the redevelopment office with the director at that time, went to San Francisco Housing Development, went to mayor's office. We submitted a petition with over 500 signatures to Supervisor Ross Mercarimi, who was in at that time, giving you a little history to let you know we know what certificate of preference is, we know what it's supposed to do, and it has not done that, and no one has been interested in really in addressing that. That also is part of the solution to the homeless problem. If everyone who was displaced by the San Francisco Redevelopment Agency, who was displaced because they, first of all, displaced between the redevelopment agency, by the redevelopment agencies in the 60s and 70s, they're entitled. It is not, if they aren't, so I'm sharing with you because there's a level of due diligence. The mayor's office of housing has the records, and if they don't, what you do is you reach out, and if they haven't contacted you, reach out and contact them. The phone number for certificate of preference is 415-701-5613. Everyone that you know that ever lived in the housing projects or that was displaced because their building was sold, there's several levels of there's several certificates in the COP program, Certificate of Preference program. One is for people that were displaced, one because of redevelopment. There's one for people that were displaced because of they were priced out. There's one for people that were displaced because they could no longer afford to live here. Again, priced out. So there's a website. The website is SF. Please get a pen. The website for the Certificate of Preference program. I get really excited about this, you guys, because it will work if we work it. With Mayor Breed in office, who also, like myself, grew up in the housing projects, who understands the challenges, who also must fight against big business. Big business offered me employment, but that would have prevented me. I'm not going to name names, but that would have prevented me from winning the social justice. Our show being the winner of the Social Justice and Advocacy Award, and it would have prevented me from always sharing the truth with you as I know it and researching the facts to the best of my ability so that I can deliver you factual information. The eligibility for the Certificate of Preference is, as I mentioned, your household would have been displaced. The two affected areas were Western Addition and Hunters Point. It's not transferable between family members, but I beg to differ. If your mother had it and your mother passed, you were a child, you were displaced. See, that was the amendment that we gave Ross Mercarimi. So we can revisit that. There's any document, it has to work for us. See, none of us real estate professionals were at the table when they came up with the Certificate of Preference because they didn't go far enough. But it can be fixed. It must be fixed because this is part of addressing our homeless problem and the homelessness in San Francisco. So the hotline for the Certificate of Preference program and information is, you have your pencil ready? 415-701-5613. Again, that's 415-701-5613. And the website address is http, or you can just, let's make it simple. sfmohcd.org/certificate-preference. Again, sfmohcd.org/certificate-preference. hyphen is that, that little line that goes in between words. And what you're going to need is, of course, some identification, Social Security card, and you also need to get involved. And this will be a great start. So let's let's get back to Mayor Breed. So Mayor Breed is, okay, I'm sorry. Breed was most recently the president of the Board of Supervisors. As mayor, she earned an annual salary of $335,996. I could tell you that's low for the job that our mayor has ahead of her. But together, we can do it. It is time for us to put all differences aside because we don't have that kind of time. Let's come together. It is the one who lives in the house who knows where the roofs leak. Thank you very much. I live in the house of San Francisco. I grew up in the house of San Francisco. I want the best for you all. Let's support our new mayor. If we stand tall, it's because we stand on the shoulders of many ancestors. Don't think there are no crocodiles just because the water is calm. When there is no enemy within, the enemies outside cannot hurt you. Advocate for yourself. Participate. Support our new mayor. We have an opportunity to turn things around. We have an opportunity to get back on track. We have an opportunity to end homelessness as we know it in San Francisco. We can do it. Together we can do it. Thank you for joining us. I'm Diane Wesley Smith, your community broker and anchor. Take care. God bless.